We do not believe that we're going to find any of these individuals still alive.
Now at Nightside, the city of Baltimore is still in shock tonight. The iconic structure crumbling from impact. We share why rescue efforts in the cold waters have turned to recoveries. Plus, the Yuma doctor accused of sexually abusing 3 of his patients is back in Yuma courtroom. We share how many more alleged victims are also stepping forward. Plus, find out when the Calexico West Port of Entry will expand Sentry lanes to 24 hours, 7 days a week. Nightside at News 11 starts right now.
Live from Studio A in Yuma, Arizona, broadcasting across Calexico, throughout Imperial Valley, Yuma, and streaming live on KYMA.com. You're watching Nightside.
New at 10, the rescue effort following a bridge collapse in Baltimore has shifted to recovery. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Scott Croce. At least 6 members of a crew performing routine maintenance on the Francis Scott Key Bridge are still missing after a fully loaded container ship slammed into a support column overnight, the bridge collapsing from the impact. Jay Gray is at the crash site with the very latest on the tragedy.
Just minutes after pulling away from the port, there were signs of trouble. Flickering lights, dark smoke pouring from the stack of the 95,000 gross ton container ship. The pilot issuing a mayday call, warning he'd lost power and propulsion. Just ahead of the vessel, slamming into a center support column on the Francis Scott Key Bridge. The iconic structure crumbling from the force of the impact.
We advised the entire bridge, the entire Key Bridge in the harbor.
A crew doing routine maintenance, filling potholes, was on the bridge as it collapsed. 2 of the workers quickly pulled to safety. But after a full day of teams on, above, and below the water, frantically working to rescue at least 6 still missing, tonight they acknowledge their mission is shifting to recovery.
That at this point, we do not believe that we're going to find any of these individuals still alive.
24 NTSB investigators are on site now to work through the remnants of the bridge, interview crew members and witnesses, examine the ship, and analyze data recorders, trying to piece together how and why the tragedy happened.
The NTSB focuses on the facts, so we will figure that out and be able to provide that information in the coming days. Today is far too early for that.
The beginning of what will be a long and difficult process in the wake of the tragedy. Jay Gray, NBC News, Baltimore.
The former Yuma family medical doctor accused of sexually abusing at least 3 patients entered a not guilty plea today in court. News 11's Samantha Byrd shares more on the case and why more victims may come forward.
This was 36-year-old Edsel Sandoval's 3rd court appearance at the Yuma County Superior Court. We're also learning more about new victims that have come forward since his arrest. Sandoval faces at least 7 charges of sexual abuse and assault tied to 3 former patients. According to court documents, the alleged abuse dates back to April 2022, with the victims being women ages 20 to 43 years old. The Yuma Police Department says after Sandoval's arrest last month, 8 additional women have come forward against Sandoval, bringing the total number of potential victims to 11. YPD says more charges could be added as more potential victims come forward. Sandoval presented with an amended indictment.
Are you still wishing to enter a plea of not guilty in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the not guilty plea is entered a record.
Court documents state Sandoval intentionally and knowingly engaged in sexual contact, sexual intercourse, or oral sexual conduct without the consent of the alleged victims. Prior to his arrest, Sandoval worked at Sunset Health, where he practiced medicine. And before that, Sandoval was employed by Yuma Regional Medical Center. Sandoval is currently out on a $500,000 bond and will be back in court for his final management conference in June. Reporting in Yuma, Samantha Byrd, News 11.
And the Yuma man accused of robbing an employee at gunpoint at a local mobile home park was formally charged. 37-year-old Jared Scott Gracie faces 10 felony counts, including aggravated assault and theft. The Yuma Police Department says the robbery happened earlier this month at the Lazy S mobile home park. We spoke with locals who live near the mobile home park, and one described the area as calm, the other saying she's had to take extra precautions to feel safe.
Yo tengo muchas cosas que pueden robar y no me han robado.
I have a lot of things that they could steal, but no one has stolen from me. I mean, the last time someone stole, that was like 22 years ago, and it wasn't anything big.
Una cosa leve.
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I mean, I have Ring cameras. So that helps a lot.
Gracie's being held at the Yuma County Jail on a bond of $275,000, much higher than his previous bond of $32,000. He's scheduled to be back in court next week. And out on bond, but taken back into custody after failing to appear in court. The judge said 44-year-old Alfredo Ibarra was not complying with his court-mandated pre-trial services. Ibarra was out on a $35,000 bond after being accused of committing multiple counts of fraudulent activity and theft at Plaza Auto Center. The business says this resulted in a financial loss of over $44,000. Ibarra will be back in court next month with his trial scheduled to start in October. Turn the page for a look at weather. We're bringing Chief Weather Forecaster Melissa Zaremba on this Tuesday night. Hello, Melissa.
Hello, Scott. Yes, a pretty wonderful day we had on this Tuesday. Our temperatures were a little bit cooler than normal. Winds have lightened up quite a bit compared to the weekend and earlier this week. Still feeling a little breezy, though, but still nothing too extreme out there. But it is a pretty nice night, as you can see on our RV World Yuma Skycam. But we are going to be warming things up a little bit as we head into tomorrow and the rest of this week. So yes, tracking a gradually warming up here. So we are going to have temperatures eventually making its way slightly a little bit above normal, and then we have bigger changes for Easter weekend, and it does include some possible rain in the forecast. So I'll have more coming up a little bit later on in my full forecast.
Thank you, Melissa. The Calexico West Port of Entry is expanding Century Lanes to be open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The permanent expansion will start next Monday. That's April 1st. No fools. Again, it's April Fool's Day, but it will open that day. This includes both the Century vehicle and pedestrian lanes. It's part of the Century Trusted Traveler Program. Customs and Border Protection says it's due to the success of the pilot program launched last November. Coming up on Nightside, we give you a behind-the-scenes look at the Yuma Police Department through the Civilians Academy and share how you can get involved.
Child safety, child well-being is everybody's business.
And learn how Amberley's Place and the Yuma Police Department are taking action to raise awareness during Child Abuse Prevention Month.
You're watching Nightside, News 11, where news comes first.
What it takes to become a Yuma police officer. The annual Civilians Police Academy graduation ceremony celebrates the end of 12 long weeks. The program gives locals hands-on experience and a behind-the-scenes look at how the police department works. Those in the academy also participate in police ride-alongs, firearm training, and canine demonstrations.
The benefits is just the transparency that the Yuma Police Department has with the city and with all of its citizens. We had lots of different individuals come in, younger, older, in between, with different perspectives.
If you'd like to be a part of the next academy, it's open to anyone over the age of 18. You can't have any felonies, and you must complete a background check. And this morning, Amberley's Place teamed up with the Yuma Police Department to plant a pinwheel garden in honor of Child Abuse Prevention Month coming up in April. Amberley's Place had a busy start to the new year, serving nearly 600 victims in the first 2 months of 2024. They say the number of victims they've helped up is up by about 30% compared to the same time last year. The Amberley's Place executive director attributes to this to more people reporting cases.
To represent our kids and to help our community to see those pinwheels and to remember that child safety, child well-being is everybody's business. Every one of us in this community has a responsibility to looking after our kids and keeping them safe.
The organization planted pinwheel gardens at other locations around the city and says they'll continue bringing awareness for child abuse prevention throughout the month of April. Coming up, prepare to be a little shell-shocked when it comes to buying eggs for the upcoming holiday weekend. Find out why the price of eggs has nearly doubled over the past 3 years.
And our temperatures are going to be warming back into the 80s and also tracking some big changes for our Easter weekend. That's up next.
You're watching Nightside, News 11, where news comes first.
Welcome back. I'm Scott Gross. As local families get ready for Easter eggs this weekend, they're going to see higher egg prices at the grocery store. Danyelle Burke North reports on the shell-shocking prices.
Many people are excited for Easter egg hunts this weekend, but not so excited about the rise in prices. This dozen of eggs costs $6.12 and even more for a pack of 18.
Oh yeah, definitely. Our grocery bill has gone up. I mean, the last couple of years I've just seen it go up and up and up.
Egg prices have nearly doubled since 2021, and many people are buying eggs now as we approach Easter.
People who don't even usually eat eggs, you know, but maybe a dozen a month, and all of a sudden they want 5 or 6 dozen for one day.
From the store, I went to a local ranch and I met with rancher Burke to ask him about the rise in egg prices.
Do you have anything to say about egg prices?
What do you think about egg prices? You think you're underpaid?
There are many factors driving prices up, including inflation, weather, and high demand for Easter eggs.
The big egg producers with huge chicken farms, that a couple of them were burnt down. They lost hundreds of thousands of chickens.
Byrd says the cost for ranchers has also risen as they have to pay more for chicken feed.
I know for us, the cost of food has gone almost double in the last 18 months. So we're selling our eggs for slightly more, but we're still not breaking even.
The average egg price in Arizona is now $6.03 per dozen. That's why some families are turning to plastic eggs this weekend to make their Easter a little more affordable.
We're going to go the plastic route this year for sure. I mean, I still will probably buy a dozen to paint with and stuff, but yeah, for the Easter egg hunt, it'll be all plastic this year.
I think I'm going to be sticking to some plastic eggs this year to help lower the cost. I'm wishing everyone an excellent Easter weekend. Reporting in Yuma, Danyelle, Burke North, News 11.
And again, don't be shell-shocked by those prices. And from rising costs of eggs to parking, the Calexico City Council will be reviewing a proposal next week to increase meter rates and parking fines in Calexico. It would increase parking meter rates to $1.25 an hour.
Well, after the unanimous approval by the City Council to adopt this resolution to update the ordinances and raise the meter fees, this Wednesday we're going to bring the first reading of the new ordinance to change the old ones, to adjust the hours, to adjust the fines, to adjust everything that has to do with the meters.
A lot of adjustments on the way. The police chief also wants to increase parking fines by 10%. They hope the extra money will help pay for an officer who can enforce security in downtown Calexico. And from rising costs to finished projects, families in the foothills now have a new place to hang out in the sun. A ribbon-cutting ceremony took place today at the Yuma Foothills Community Park. This is the first major park in the area, and it includes play areas, a walking path, and a ramada. And residents have expressed the need for a recreational area for quite some time, and this county finally made it happen.
You know, out here in the foothills, they've wanted one for so many years, and this area has grown to the point where it's a city in itself. You're talking 30,000 people or so out here.
This is just the first phase of the project. The next phase includes a dog park, all-inclusive play areas, and more ramadas.
Now, your Weather Authority local weather forecast.
And checking in with our weather conditions, our temperatures were nice and cool today. We had mid-70s, so slightly a little bit below normal for this time of year. And our temperatures are cooling down even right now. So here's a look at that. So low 60s, even seeing some mid-60s out there. But regardless, it is cooling down and a little bit chillier as of now. But as we go into the next couple of days, things are going to be changing a little bit around here. So we've been talking about this lower pressure system that brought in those gusty winds, keeping our temperature slightly a little bit cooler than normal for this time of year. But by tomorrow, we are going to have a ridge of high pressure that's going to be back in the desert southwest. So that just means a warming trend is going to be taking place. But by tomorrow, thankfully, we're still going to be closer to our seasonal average. So nothing too extreme, but we will be having our temperatures rise going into Thursday. So we will eventually be making its way above normal just a little bit. So nothing too extreme, but still still. We will be warmer than normal for this time of year. And then aside from that, we do have some changes that will be leading into our weekend. So as you can see up to the Pacific Northwest, we got another lower pressure system, and that will be bringing in some big changes, unfortunately, for our Easter weekend, which I'll touch on in just a moment. Let's go ahead and take a look at tomorrow, though, because it's going to be rather pleasant. Our temperatures are going to warm up into the 80s. Like I said, that's close to our average for this time of year. And notice will be nice and clear, plenty of sunshine. So great to get outdoors doing anything you want, because it's going to be absolutely stunning tomorrow. It's going to feel like spring and feeling like March. So take full advantage of the nice conditions while we still have them. And also winds aren't going to be much of an issue either. So they are going to start to really lighten up heading into tomorrow. We were feeling a little breezy today, but not going to really be the case tomorrow. Just a light breeze. Gusts are expected to be below 20 miles per hour. Occasionally it could reach as high as 20 miles per hour, but even then, nothing overly gusty. We're going to take a nice break from those winds at least through Wednesday and the majority of Thursday. However, going into the evening for our Thursday, we are going to start to pick up with our winds a little bit. You can see those gustier conditions will be off toward the west, once again favoring more in Imperial County, where gusts could be about 20, even up to 25 miles per hour. Not so much for us here in Yuma, but we'll still be feeling a light breeze. So noticeably breezier for Thursday, lingering into Friday, but that will set us up for our weekend ahead, because we will unfortunately have breezier conditions along with other things. But quickly on our air quality index, sponsored by Imperial County Air Pollution Control District, it is actually looking pretty good all across the board here. But here's to look ahead for this incoming storm system. So yes, we're going to become a little bit breezier. Temperatures will start to cool down a little bit too, but main impact that I'm looking out for is going to be the rain, because yes, it's going to be Easter weekend. We want to be outdoors, but we might not be able to really enjoy the outdoors this weekend, because I am, again, tracking good chances for rain, especially on Easter Sunday. But here's a quick look on our 8-day forecast, sponsored by Paradise Casino. So enjoy the dry and also warm temperatures that we will have for the remainder of this week, because the weekend is expected to be an active weather day with all those upcoming changes, which of course I'll be watching out for closely and update you as we get closer to the weekend.
Thank you, Melissa.
The other guy really didn't have a chance. I mean, there was no chance.
Coming up, we're going to take a look at one of the most dominant state wrestling champions in the state of Arizona, who hails from right here in Yuma. Straight ahead, sports.
Now, sports.
One of the most dominant wrestlers in the state of Arizona is located right here in Yuma. And for the second straight year, Yuma Catholic's Trenton Bloomquist was recently crowned as the Arizona State Champion in the 190-pound weight class.
That was pretty big for me, and I mean, it was just another stepping stone to where I'm trying to get, which is to wrestle in college. So
after winning the title last year, Bloomquist found the motivation to keep improving by wrestling on the national stage against the best from around the country.
Going to these bigger tournaments, you really see how good you are. So going to Virginia Beach last year, going 1-2, that really sucked. So I knew I had a lot to improve on.
So then he got a big eye-opener, like, I'm the best in Arizona, but there's a big world out there outside of Arizona.
All of the extra work Bloomquist put in paid off as he finished his senior season a perfect 52-0.
I'm glad I did that, but there was not really anything kind of in my way to stop me from being undefeated. I went out and pinned everybody but two kids, and two kids I did not pin were by tech falls.
The other guy really didn't have a chance. I mean, there was no chance. I mean, in the state finals match, before the match, it was like, I'll see you in 30 seconds, and it was like 38 seconds in the state championship. So, I mean, it's pretty remarkable. I mean, people would say it's cocky, but it's not cocky. It's just being confident.
Bloomquist recently came fourth place at a national wrestling event in Iowa. He currently has numerous colleges looking to secure his signature. Congrats, Trenton, and keep up the good work. We had a packed house at Hal Church Field today for the El Centro City Championship. The 6-6-1 Central Spartans taking on the 11-3 Southwest Eagles. Second pitch of the ball game. Nico Montano launches a high fly ball out towards left field. It's going to bounce off the wall. Montano is going to have a lead-off double to get the Eagles offense going early. A few batters later, Jesus Arriola at the plate, and he finds a gap for a base hit into right field. Montano comes in to score, and Southwest takes the 1-0 lead. Later in the inning, Jerry Niebla, he's going to hit a high fly ball out towards right center field. Jared Martin going chasing it out in center. That's going to be off the wall. 2 runs come in to score. A big first inning for the Eagles. They would put up 5 in the first frame, and the Eagles dugout was fired up in this one. Bottom of the first inning, 2 runners in scoring position. Jared Martin smacks a base hit into left field. Diego Acuna scores. The throw to the plate is going to be in time to get the second runner, and Fernando Cervantes throws out Martin at second. A wild play as Central scores 1 and Southwest gets the double play. The Eagles would go on to light up the scoreboard in this one as they claim the city championship with a commanding 16-2 win. Over to Caballeros Field, Kofa softball in a doubleheader against Independence. The ladies took game 1 19-0. And would the Bats stick around for game 2? Let's find out. Well, in the bottom of the second inning, Kofa already leading 9-2. Charlize Anaya with the bases loaded, and that pitch was too high, and the ball would get thrown into the outfield. 2 runs would come in to score. Later on in the inning, second and third, Calissa Garcia grounds it over to Independence first baseman, but the flip is mishandled and then followed by a collision. Either way, 2 more runs come in to score. It's 13-2. A little after that, Emma Martinez at the dish. The ball goes off the catcher's glove. Garcia comes over from third, tack on another. It's 14-2, and Kofa mercies them in 5 innings. 20-2 is the final score, and the Lady Kings sweep the doubleheader. Gila Ridge boys tennis and girls tennis took on Maricopa today. The boys took home a 7-2 victory to move to 8-1 on the season. The girls came out on top 5-4, and they are still unbeaten at 8-0. Kofa boys tennis beat Cibola 9-0. The Kings now are 8-2 on the year, ahead of Thursday's matchup with Yuma. The Lady Raiders flipped the script on Kofa in the girls match, with Cibola taking it 9-0. The Arizona Diamondbacks are making a splash ahead of opening day as the Snakes are signing left-handed pitcher Jordan Montgomery to a 1-year, $25 million deal. Now, this move bolsters their rotation into one of the most deepest in the league, and that's all we have time for in sports.
We take you to a different kind of baseball south of the border.
It's the most pressure that I feel in my career.
The Mexican Pacific League, featuring the Águilas de Mexicali.
It's a great atmosphere.
The passion.
In order to go big, you got to take big risks.
The love of baseball.
They take it personal.
The hometown talent.
I'm at home.
Major league names.
I appreciate the love they give me.
And the pressure to win at all costs.
For here, it's more like you got to do it right now.
A different kind of baseball. April 3rd at 6 p.m.
Welcome back. Before we go, a big day coming up on Thursday. Major League Baseball gets officially underway. The Diamondbacks, with their new addition, will start things off against Colorado at Chase Field. You've got the Padres going. They've already started their season against the Dodgers.
The Dodgers,
right?
yeah. Shohei Ohtani, the continuation of that gambling story. We're going to have to monitor that, but right now he's still playing in spring training. A fun one, though, today from the hockey world. We don't talk about it much here, but Josh Doan, the son of the legend of the Arizona Coyotes, Shane Doan, made his NHL debut for the Coyotes today, scored 2 goals. You don't see a lot of guys who grow up in the state of Arizona go on to play in the NHL. Obviously, we're not necessarily known for hockey here in the desert, but now he's following in his dad's footsteps. And not only doing that, doing it in his college arena with Arizona State and to Mullet Arena.
What a great story. Maybe it could be a big feature for you at some point.
We'll see. Yeah, have to do it.
We also have Arizona basketball in the Sweet 16 coming on Thursday. So how about weather getting to Thursday? What are we looking like?
Well, it's going to be slightly above normal, pretty calm, nothing too intense going on, which will be great for all the sports. But this weekend, though, Easter, chance for showers and cooler temperatures and even potential for some stronger winds. So it'll be a busy weekend once again, unfortunately, for Easter. But until then, it's going to look fantastic.
Well, the month of March started like a lamb and it's going out like a lion. We've got.
Is that what you predicted? Is that what you predicted?
That's what we said earlier, right?
Yeah,
so
that's
it came
what
in really
you said.
nice.
Yes.
We had some rain, we had some wind,
forgot.
we had a little bit of everything.
Yeah, so get ready for the last full weekend of March, and then we'll be starting April.
Any big plans for the Easter holiday? Anybody?
Just going to see the family back in California, enjoy the beach maybe.
All right.
Yeah, no plans for me.
No plans? All right. Very good. Well, we all plan on being with you through the week. Thanks for watching. Jimmy is next.